Hello, this is Mr. Mobility. Every year, the list of handy smartphones gets smaller and smaller. Thankfully, there is a small group of cell phone brands that are still committed to the compact phone size. This list includes Apple, Samsung, Sony, Google, and Asus. As you may already know, I am a lover of compact smartphones. Handy, small smartphones that have a screen size of between 5.8 inches and 6.2 inches. I don't even mind 6.3 inches. Once we get 6.4, I get a little bit uncomfortable. I certainly am not a fan of 6.7 and 6.9 inch displays. I use them, but left to me, I'd go for a smaller, handier, compact smartphone. Anyway, to help those of you who are like myself, I have compiled a list of the top small smartphones of 2024. All of the phones I'm about to list out to you are the latest premium flagship models of their respective brands. So you're getting the best build materials, getting the best build quality, you're getting the best processors, and the best cameras you can find in smartphones this year. First on my list is the Asus Zenfone 10. It is the oldest of the phones on this list in the sense that it was released back in June 2023, which is about 9 months ago, but it's still very much up to date and relevant. Of course, we're expecting its successor to be announced and released in the course of this year. When it is released, then it will replace the Asus Zenfone 10. But if you're picking up the Zenfone 10, here is what to expect. It has a 5.92-inch Super AMOLED display with 144 Hz refresh rate. Under the hood is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, which was last year's top chipset from Qualcomm. And it has up to 16 gigabytes of RAM. I love that. I'd love to handle that 16 gig RAM model. For photography, unfortunately, you have to do without a telephoto lens. But like all the other phones on this list, it has stereo speakers. The battery size is 4,300 milliamp hour. It has 30-watt fast charging, 15-watt wireless charging, and 5-watt reverse wire charging. Now, the battery life is good. It's not exemplary, but it's good. You won't tear your hair out using this one. Next on my list of the top small smartphones of 2024 is the Sony Xperia 5 Mark V. I'm still not sure what inspired Sony's naming scheme, but hey, it is what it is. The Xperia 5 Mark V arrived in September 2023, sporting a 6.1-inch OLED screen with 120 Hz refresh rate. Under the hood also is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset coupled with 8 GB of RAM. Its camera configuration also lacks a telephoto lens, unfortunately. But other features that will interest you on this include stereo speakers, a big 5,000 mAh battery, 30-watt fast charging, wireless charging, and reverse wireless charging. The battery life is superb. If you want the best battery life available among the top small smartphones of 2024, this is it, the Xperia 5 Mark V. Next on my list is the Apple iPhone 15 Pro. Released in September 2023, it sports a 6.1-inch Super Retina display with 120 Hz refresh rate, keeping things running smoothly. Under the hood is an Apple A17 Pro chip. The iPhone 15 Pro has one of the most comprehensive camera setups on this list because it includes a telephoto lens that offers 3 times optical zoom. But when we go down to battery size and capacity, we get a bit underwhelmed. This model has only 3,204 milliamp hour battery capacity, which is pretty small, and which means, I mean, in actual use, it translates to not very good battery life. There's only so much optimization you can do. If you put a battery that's too small in the phone, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, for charging, Apple has included a creepy crawly power delivery 2.0 charging. There's 15 watts wireless charging, and there's 4.5 watt reverse wired charging. Next on my list is the Apple iPhone 15, the non-Pro version. Also released in September 2023, it has the same 6.1-inch screen, but no higher refresh rate, so you're stuck with 60 Hz, people. Also, the processor is downgraded to an Apple A16 Bionic chip, and you will have to do without a telephoto lens. Sorry. Again, at the battery end, you get a small, slightly better capacity 3,349 milliamp hour battery with power delivery 2.0 for charging, 15 watt wireless charging, and 4.5 watt reverse wired charging. Of course, with a 3,349 milliamp hour battery, don't expect superb battery life here either. Next on my list is the Google Pixel 8, released in October 2023. It comes with a 6.2-inch OLED screen and 120 Hz refresh rate. The chipset is a Google Tensor G3. Unfortunately, this model too also lacks a telephoto camera. Other features include stereo speakers, 27 watts fast charging. The battery capacity is 4,575 milliamp hours. There is also 18 watt wireless charging as well as reverse wireless charging. The battery life is about the worst on this list. I mean, the battery capacity is fairly big, but Google definitely has a problem with optimizing their hardware with their software. Next on my list is the Samsung Galaxy S24. Released in January 2024, it is the newest device on this list and has a 6.2-inch Super AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate. It is powered by Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset in the USA and Canada, as well as China, and powered by the Exynos 2400 everywhere else. Yes, it's only Samsung I know that does this kind of a thing. And I really wonder why, because I don't get it. Anyway, you also get stereo speakers, and the camera configuration is superb. It has a telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom. The battery capacity is only 4,000 milliamp hours. There is 25 watt charging, which is creepy crawly. There's 15 watt wireless charging, and there's also 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging. Of course, the battery life isn't anything fantastic. It's not totally crappy, but it is what it is. So, which of these phones would be your pick? If you want super battery life, the Xperia 5 Mark V is the device to go. If you must have a telephoto camera, the iPhone 15 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S24 are the models you need to consider. So ask your carrier, ask your mobile network operator, ask your favorite phone store to see if they have any one of these phones. And you'll have in your hands a top premium flagship device, but in a handy, compact form factor for those of us who like our phones small. I'll see you next time. Take care.